quizzes. You'll see some stuff that we had done on some of the quizzes repeated. It said Mr. Hahn had budgeted $150 for food for the week. He spent $82 at the grocery store Tuesday, and he and Mrs. Hahn spent $39 at dinner on Wednesday. How much money did they have left for the week from his food budget? So all you got to do is figure out how much he has spent total. So total up the $82 and the $39. So whatever that was spent on groceries. And he spent $121. Now, he had $150, so the answer would be whatever 150 minus 121 is. In this case, it would be $29. Okay, so that would be your final answer. So again, the quiz will the test will follow this. So if you're getting these right, if you started these ahead of time, you're good to go. Okay. Now, one of the things a little different, the way I set it up to kind of condense space a little bit. In this area, here are the prices from Walmart for those items. The first thing I want to do is the unit price for these 4 items you see here, and that will be also on the chart. One of the things that I noticed on one of the quizzes we had was you weren't always doing unit price right. So remember, it is always price divided by quantity. Okay, price divided by quantity. So if I want the price per egg for number, or this first one here, you're going to do 282, and that is for a dozen eggs. So you have to divide by 12. So hopefully you know a dozen means 12. So 282 divided by 12. And it's going to be a strange number, that unit price. I would just kind of leave what the calculator gives you, because then that allows for better comparison. So it'd be 0.235 cents per egg. So 23.5 cents per egg, 23.5 cents per egg. Okay. Now for the sauce here, we're doing the sauce next. So what would we divide? 24. We would divide by 24, right? So 248 divided by 24. So 2.48 divided by 24 is approximately 0.103. If you notice a number repeating, feel free to put the little bar over top of it. Most monetary things, we're going to go to the nearest penny. But for unit price, because sometimes the unit prices are so very close, rounding can sometimes make it hard for us to determine. So this is the one time where you can just tell me what the calculator says. And then we're going to do spaghetti. A pound of spaghetti is $3.12. Dividing by a pound isn't going to be super helpful. So instead, you'll notice I told you what to divide by. The per ounce means divide by the ounces. So that would be $3.12 divided by 16, which is 0.195. So that is just a little under 20 cents per ounce. And then our last one here, we want the price per donut. So you're just going to go $4.24. And they told us that was a pack of 6 donuts, so that you divide by 6. So $4.24 divided by 6 is 0.706. Repeating, just put the little bar over it. That tells me that it's repeated. Okay? So for the rest of the time, we'll use the prices listed, but remember, don't forget there will be that little sidebar that you'll do the unit prices just for the things immediately to the left of that section, okay? Any questions on this first block and what we have to do there? Good? Okay. Now let's talk about number 2. Now, it's similar to the quiz, but I kind of condensed, because the test has more stuff on it, into one chart. So in this one, I want us to estimate to the nearest dollar, okay? This is the actual price. So let's just put the actual price in the block, and then we'll estimate it to the side. Okay, so a gallon of milk, the actual price is $2.42. Is that closer to $2 when we estimate, or is that closer to $3? It's closer to 2. Let's put that down here. Okay, let's do the Cheerios.
The good kind of Cheerios as well.
Oh, I never liked Honey Nut Cheerios, and I will tell you, the last year of my mom's life, that was her go-to meal. I was always buying boxes of Cheerios. Anyway, so $5.97, would that be closer to $5, or should we round up to $6? Let's round up to $6. Now, this says 2 jars of red sauce. So if you look at the red sauce, the spaghetti sauce, red sauce is $2.48. We have to multiply that by 2 in order for us to, okay? And now you have to be a little careful of how this goes. Do you want to estimate the price first and then multiply by 2? Because we'll get $4. But if we round this price to the nearest dollar, we're going to get $5. So you got to be careful as to how you estimate. If you tell me $4, I'm going to give it to you. If you tell me $5, I'm going to give it to you, because it really depends upon which one we round, right? So let's just go $5. Okay. Let's do spaghetti. Spaghetti, we want 2 pounds. 1 pound is $3.12. So you're going to do $3.12 times 2, which is $6.24. So that's closest to $6. A bag of apples is $3.96. That's close to $4. And then before you move on, let's do the estimate total, okay? So 2 plus 6 plus 5 plus 6 plus 4 is $23. So what that allows us to do, like if you were in the grocery store and you were just putting things in your cart, you could estimate really, nicely. So if you get up to say you only had a $20 bill with you, and you are getting ready to check out, if you were estimating as you go, you're over by $3. So it's just a really nice little skill if you're at the store as you're putting things in your cart to round them, and then you'll at least get a total. So we should expect that this column is going to be close to 23. It might be a little above, a little below, okay? So the total cost, we're going to total as we go. So 242, that's the first thing, okay? Now let's do 242 plus 597. We're going to do a running total. So that's 839. So if we just bought the milk and the Cheerios, would be up to 839. Now we're going to do 839 plus 496. What happened when we add the red sauce into our cart? We now are at a total of 1335. And now we're going to take that new running total. We're going to add on 624. So that's 1959. See how we're getting closer to that $23 mark? We should be a little over, a little under. And then we're going to do the 1959 plus the 396, and that will be our actual total. And you can check by going down that list and just totaling it on your calculator in one like addition. But yeah, look, 2355. That's pretty darn close, right? Wait. So that is our actual total. Okay. So that's how you're going to fill that chart in. Give me an estimate. Give me the actual price. And then in this total, give me a running total using the real prices. Okay? Okay, so now Marissa found some coupons. How much will she save? So she got 75 cents off the purchase of 2 jars. Just go to make sure that's what she bought. She bought 2 jars. So she's going to save 75 cents. She is going to buy 1 pound of spaghetti, get 1 free. If you look at the spaghetti, she should have paid $3.12 a jar.
Interruption. Due to a scheduling conflict, bowling has been canceled for today and will be moved to tomorrow after school. The rest of this week's schedule is unchanged.
Oh.
So Marissa should save $3.87. So how could we find her new total? What do we do with that value we got, that $3.87? You got to subtract it off, right? You got to take it off. So if we do $23.55, take off the $3.87, she would now have a total of $19.68. Okay? So all of 2 and 3 will be based upon this chart. So you'll fill everything in once. Last time we had kind of an estimated chart, and we had a real chart. We're going to do it all together, kind of to save space and paper. Okay? Everybody good with 2 and 3? Any questions there? And everybody has that copied down. Good? Okay. Everybody good now? Okie dokie. Now flip your paper over, please, and let's take a look at number 4. So one of the more recent things we were doing was planning those parties, and if we wanted so many people to come to our party. So at this party, we're going to have 18 people there. We know this is how many things there are per pack, and this is how many things that we expect on average the person is going to eat. Okay, so if 2 cookies are going to be eaten for 18 people, just do 2 times 18. We're going to do this part first, which is 36. 2 times 18, 36. 2 times 18, 36. 1 times 18, 18. 2 times 18, we know 36. And then 3 times 18 is 54. So it doesn't look like 36. Okay. Now you have to compare the quantities are in a package. So we're going to divide by the quantity. We always have to round up no matter what. Any decimal at all makes us round up so we can get those last little pieces we need. So cookies, there are 12 per box. So if you divide by 12, you get 3 exactly. So no rounding is necessary. 3 is exactly what we need. It would contain 36 cookies. Hamburger buns, hamburgers, there are 6 in a pack. If you divide by 6, we get exactly 6 packs will do it perfectly. The decimal, there's no decimal there. Buns, hamburger buns are 8 per pack. Now here's where it comes out weird. 36 is not divisible by 8 exactly. So if we get a decimal like 4.5, you have to round up to 5. No matter what, because you can't walk into a store and buy half of a pack of hot dog or hamburger buns. It's impossible. They'll yell at you a little bit, so you got to buy that next one, okay? Water, there are 8 in a case. Same thing here. We're not going to split up a case. Even though it says 2.25, what should we round that to? We got to go with 3, right? You have to do 3. Chips, it says there's 10 little bags in a chip, bags of chips. So that's 3.6. What are we going to round that up to? 4. And then 54 divided by 40. It's 1 point something, but let's see what. 1.35. So you got to round that to 2. So make sure for this, in real life situation, you can't take half a bag out of the store. So you would round that up to whatever the case may be. Everybody good with that section? Everybody got that? Okay. Now let's talk about better deal and savings and things of that nature. Okay. So this one, some of you, this is one And this is a separate problem. You were kind of trying to lump it all together. We're just comparing this, in this case, egg prices, and then we'll compare the apple prices, okay? So a dozen eggs for $2.88, we're going to do $2.88 divided by 12. A dozen is 12. Leave that decimal, guys, because of the fact that the other one might be super close, okay? So you're going to get 0.24. And then 18, we have to divide into 438. So you put into your calculator always the price, then the quantity. And it is 0.243 repeated. Which is the smaller number, 0.24 or 0.243? Which is smaller? Yeah, the 0.24 has a 0 after that next number, so it's your better deal. So just tell me, in that case, A is your better deal. Now we do it again, separately, a new problem. Here we're going to do 296 divided by 10, which is 0.296. Just leave that decimal out there so we can get a good comparison. And then this one is 350 divided by 12, which is 0.2916 repeating. Which is smaller, 0.296 or 0.291? Which one's smaller? Yeah, you got to look for where they first become different. So the 6 and the 1 is where they become different. 6 is more than 1. So that's where you want to pick out the better deal. And so this case, our better deal is B. So those will be two separate problems on there, okay? Everybody good with the unit prices? Price divided by quantity, okay? Let's look at number 6. It says we're going to calculate the savings and then the new sale price. So we have jeans that are $28.95 and they're 10% off. All you're going to do is the price times the decimal for 10% is 0.10. Now, if you don't know that, 10%, if you do 10 divided by 100, that will give you the correct decimal. So if you suck at converting a percent into a decimal, you can just put that number in and divide by 100. It pops the decimal in there perfectly, okay? And so we get 2.895. Now, here's a case where rounding is important. They're not going to give you 2.895 off of the item. They're going to give you 290, okay? So now that's what we take off of the original price. So $28.95 minus $2.90 is $26.05. So remember, once you've calculated the discount, you subtract it off. Okay, let's do the Legos. $32.99. What's our decimal we're going to use for this one?
0.25.
Yep, 0.25. You don't really need the 0. I like putting it there. That really shows me, hey, that's where the decimal place is. You don't really need it. Calculator doesn't care. And it's not a big deal. Now, your calculator is going to read 8.2475. What should we round that to so that we show our money correctly? Yeah, that 24, that 7 behind the 24 is going to make that pop up to 825. And so then the Legos now will be $32.99 minus $8.25. Which is $24.74, okay? And then lastly, we're going to do a little bit with sales tax and monthly installments, okay? So number 7, it says that Cameron paid $14.16 for a new refrigerator split into 14 monthly installment payments. How much is his monthly payment? How do we calculate that? How do we calculate what our monthly payment will be? So he had to buy this new refrigerator. It cost him $1,416. How could we find the monthly payment? You got to divide by how many months? So it's money divided by months. Okay, so we're just going to take that $1,416 divided by 14 months. Now, they'll round it to the nearest penny. And then if you need to pay a few extra pennies on the last payment, they add that on, or maybe sometimes it's a little less, doesn't matter. But the answer would be $101.14, rounded to the nearest penny. And then the last thing you're going to have to do on the test is sales tax. So Damon bought a new grill for $259. The sales tax is 6.75%. How much is the sales tax? To find a percentage of anything, you use the decimal. 6.75%. What is that decimal? What did I say you could do in order in the calculator to find the decimal if you don't know it?
Divide by 100.
Divide by 100, move it 2 over to the left. However you do that. If you do this divided by 100, it tells me the decimal has a, you have to put that little 0 in front. 0.0675, because it's 2 places hundredths, okay? So we're going to do 259 times that decimal to find how much sales tax he has to pay on the grill. We're going to round it to the nearest penny. The calculator reads this. Should we keep it 48 or should we round it up to 49? Keep it 48, okay? So that would be $17.48 sales tax, okay? So how do we find that total purchase price for the grill?
Subtract it.
If it was a discount, we would subtract it. For sales tax, they want you have to pay that sales tax. So instead of subtracting, we're going to add it, exactly. So we're going to take 259 plus 1748. And he would have to pay $276.48. Okay? So at this time, do we have any questions about what's going to be on the test tomorrow? Any questions at all about what's going to be on the test tomorrow?
Could I be example?
No. Any questions about what we're going to see on the test? Okay, so this is yours to study, but if you could take a picture of it. We got time before the bell rings. Take a picture of it, front and back. Put it where it says kitchen math review. I think it says quiz review and that's your test information.